Today I'd like to share a message connected to gaining access to information, but not just any kind of information. Information that most individuals would label as being impossible to access, relating to a person, a place, or a thing that will be of assistance to the individual on the quest for this information within their reality experience, and can also be of assistance to the other individual, where there is a co-creation that takes place for the betterment of all. Through the heart space, we can access the 5D crystalline grid and the 6D diamond light grid. What is very important when gaining access to this information, and I will explain further in more detail as to what type of information one can access and how this is of assistance. I talk about integrity. Integrity is vitally important. This is the foundation in which we give our higher self and guides the permission to come through and work for us. In essence, it's a permission slip. If we do not operate within a place of integrity, we do not have access to this type of information. In essence, this is an encouragement for individuals to operate within integrity, to be the light, to act in alignment with the best of all concerned. This is the foundation, the permission we give ourselves to connect with more of ourselves, our higher selves, our guides, to bring through miraculous information. This is done through the heart space, connecting with the 5D crystalline grid and the 6D diamond light grid. The 5D crystalline grid is where, from 5D consciousness, the collective consciousness will interact. There is an interconnected web of consciousness that we in the collective all have access to, where information is shared between one another, and through this, also interconnected, is the 6D diamond light grid. This is where our higher selves and guides commune, coordinate, exchange information, and relay information from one individual to another. In most cases, without these two individuals ever meeting each other or knowing of each other in terms of the 3D reality experience. Information flows through these grids and is coordinated from a higher planned perspective on an ingenious level, whether we are aware of it or not. And as we acclimate, we embody more light, we become the light operating from heart-based consciousness. We are shown more and more of this information in greater detail, and we are given more and more as we trust the process, as we operate within integrity. We are entrusted with more information. An example: there can be an individual on the other side of the world who you have never met before, who you know nothing about. If you are entrusted from the space, very similar to the concept of remote viewing, through the grids you are able to tap in and gain access to information from this individual, all the way down to a cellular level, energetically. You can know things about someone else you have never met before, all the way down to a cellular level. This is the power of it. It may be crucial because maybe you and this other individual further down the line may be interacting in this human experience, or there is a higher plan to it. Perhaps there is something that you can learn from this other individual. And this takes away the 3D interference. So there never has to be an interaction between you and this other individual in order for an information sharing to take place for the betterment of both individuals. There also, if you are entrusted with this information, and I would like to highlight the point that no one, not anything, can gain access to our field or know anything about us unless we give permission for this to take place. Or if our higher self gives the permission, gives the green light. Otherwise, no one, not anything, can gain any access to your field, know anything about you, unless it's given by the higher self. We may say no to it with a conscious intention, but our higher self knows us better than we know ourselves. And there may be a reason why there is access granted. This access that is granted will assist you without you knowing it, without you necessarily believing it. This is also where limiting beliefs tie in. So giving the higher self the reins through this process, this is trusting the self, more of the self, and allowing for whatever is in alignment, what is best for the self and all concerned, to unfold naturally. This is the process. There also may be an instance that you're not aware of within the human experience where another individual is acting from a place that is not within integrity. And without you knowing it, from a human perspective, they may be trying to harm you. Or this individual may come across from a 3D perspective as the light, nice, kind, saying all the right things. But your higher self can see that perhaps there is going to be a co-creation, a collaboration in the near future, and this individual may not have your best interests at heart. So you're, through energy, through the grids, able to access this information and understand down to the finest detail the agenda of the individual. So, in this now moment, in 2 years ahead, for argument's sake, when this individual approaches you, very far ahead of time, in great detail, you are able to understand comprehensively the agenda associated to this individual reaching out to you, and you are able to say no, knowing that saying yes, consenting to that thing, is not going to assist the self in terms of our ascension in consciousness, your ascension in consciousness, your own development, and doing what is best for all concerned. What is so key in these times is the agenda behind the intention of individuals. You are able to, through these grids, know what another individual thinks about you. You are able to know the agenda, the intention. Individuals watching this are healers themselves. Okay, so there are lots of collaborations that take place. From this place, it can be of assistance to gain access to these codes of information. And you are able to see, like I said earlier, very similar to the concept of remote viewing. You are able to see why this is the case, the reasoning behind why it is crucial for you to have this information. Even we may think, why, if that person's on the other side of the world, knowing that not anyone or anything can affect me unless I allow it to, why is it necessary for me to know these things in such detail? Because our higher selves can see what is coming. And this other individual may be doing more harm than good. And a collaboration down the line would only amplify the agenda in that experience. Very seldom does this happen. More often than not, information won't come through to us because it's not relevant. It's not necessary to know that thing. if it is necessary to know that thing, whether we, from the human experience, understand why this is the case or not, by allowance, by trusting, we will know. We move from removing the limiting beliefs, dismantling the limiting beliefs, then from believing in something into knowing. We are walking into knowingness. A comprehensive analysis, unfoldment of information that will support the inner knowing all along. It's practice. This is the power of stepping into 5D consciousness. A lot of the information in this situation, I'm giving you just some of the examples, will be entrusted to you. And a lot of it you're not allowed to say. You can if you want to, but if you say something, there will be a lesson in that, and the information will be taken away until it is understood. A lot of the information that we gain access to, if you know something about someone else, it can be to do on an energetic level, a cellular level, like I said, to do with their deepest traumas from childhood, and it's an explanation of why that person is behaving in the way that they are. And perhaps by knowing this, there is going to be a shift. There are many possibilities. And by the way the individual who is gaining access to the information responds from a place of love, from integrity, is giving that other individual the opportunity to make the change within themselves. And I'll go back to another example relating to the previous one. Perhaps if you did not know these things and have the opportunity from the 5D consciousness, that state of being, of embodying the light, by your response to that situation, that person will make the change within themselves, and then there can be a collaboration down the line. And you've just assisted someone on the other side of the world by just the pure embodiment. And being entrusted with this information and allowing the higher plan to be made manifest in this reality experience, and you see the genius design. This is what's available to us right now. All individuals need to do is be good people, is to love themselves, and see what happens moving forward. There is knowledge. Knowledge is power. Your higher self and guides, the universe will trust you. If you trust them, they will trust you. And it is fun. Trust the self. Be creative with this experience. What we are doing in each and every moment, by our actions, as we know, is having an effect, an impact on the entire planet, on the collective consciousness. It is about being the change as we know, and this will be reflected to us. The universal mirror. That's the message for today. This is also a way to practice your intuition. Sometimes we just know something about someone, a person, a place, or thing. We just know, but we don't trust. We have a limiting belief associated to us trusting our own guidance, our navigation system. Then you tap into this kind of information and it will be proven to you in the outer reality experience, time and time again. And you will tie the initial feeling to what is shown to you, then what you see play out, and you will know that you have known this all along. Clear cognizance, knowingness. Then we can operate in our reality experience as the free-flowing light beings that we are and just know things. That way we can avoid what is a delay, what is resistance. Instantly, we know in a second what that is, and we navigate. Doing this, we are the examples for others to do the same. And this is shifting into that of 5D Earth, that of bliss, oneness, euphoria, connection. That's the message. Have a fantastic week, everyone. Cheers.